Warheads, and welcome to The League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
And today we're talking about the Radiant Dawn Leona, who was released July 13th, 2011. And I just want to say, if they had released her a few weeks later, she would have been a Leo. And I don't know what they were thinking.
Ooh, so close.
They really fucked
Ding
up.
1 point.
You dropped the ball on this one, buckos.
And that's the Leona episode. No.
That's it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I forgot she was so fucking old, to be honest with you. She's got a league judgment and just all sorts of shit. I kind of forgot about it. I think it's because her lore's been kind of updated some, and Diana feels more recent. She's pretty old, but she also has gotten like updates and stuff too.
Diana,
so I kind of forget that she's so.
I think I remember Diana being released, so she does feel a lot more recent than Leona.
Because she had that unique login screen.
Yes.
That's
very
why.
Memorable.
Yeah.
Leona was just same old, same old.
It's a boring bitch in a suit.
Yeah. I remember her playtests, though. There's a lot of bitching about her in playtests.
Oh,
on, both sides of the spectrum.
Really?
I don't remember those. God, maybe I wasn't right at the time, or I wasn't doing
very close to when you started.
Yeah,
I may have just missed
it.
But...
Yeah.
I don't bitch about Leona until I'm playing against her for the first time in a while. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You could just not move for 8 straight seconds when you're playing against Leona.
Enjoy standing there, you dumb. Yeah.
All right, so on the Riot Universe page, she has a bio, a cinematic, a new dawn, and 2 short stories, and also some really fantastic early concept art. I really liked that first one. It was like she was all made of metal, like her face looks like it's metal
Yeah,
too.
it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's like an Oriana type concept almost.
Yeah, it wasn't my fave. I'm glad they changed that.
Yeah, glad they fixed that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we doing the bio then?
Yes. So bio, I feel like we know a lot about Leona already because of Diana, but I have no notes for the bio. I'm so sorry. I was really tired today.
No worries. I can do it. It's
Okay.
It's by Ian St. Martin. Thanks to the wiki for the credit, because obviously not credited on Universe. I shouldn't even need to say it, right? But
Right.
Anyway, Leona was, for the most part, a normal girl on Targon. Right? She was she grew up with this. Pretty much, she was a little more exemplary than the rest. I don't know. She grew up amongst the Solari. She was a really good Solari, I guess is the point. She kind of excelled at what she did, and it was kind of expected
Would you say that
she would
shined?
John.
Shone would maybe be the.
Oh shit.
Sure.
Damn, I got past tense shamed.
Learn English, dumbass.
Right.
Fuck.
Oh man. But it was kind of expected that she would join the Rock, which I think we've mentioned before, but they're kind of like the best of the best of the best, Solari.
What a great
honors.
name. Really good name for them. Yeah. Much better than like the Demacia and Noxian.
Oh, like Dauntless Vanguard.
I like the Triferics.
I like the Trifarian Legion. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Anyway, so she's
a little.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah. She's a straight A student, but then she falls in with bad girl Diona. Diona. Wow. I will say, I was like, even when I was doing my sound test, I was fucking up, like saying Leona and Diana. So that's going to happen a lot.
That's their couple name for
Diona.
sure.
Diona, Leanna, whatever. So I think we talked about it in the Diana episode, but she's constantly bucking against like the tutors and stuff, and she's constantly getting punished. And like, oh, this troublemaker Diana. And Leona kind of sees like, oh, takes an interest in her, and they become friends, even though they have very opposing perspectives. And they'll debate late into the night. Long night spent debating. If you know what I mean. And eventually, Diana finds an old Lunari temple. She tells Leona about it, and Leona is very much like, "Hey, cut the shit. Don't mention this. Tamp it down.
Cool, man. Be cool.
Be cool, right? I told these Solari you were cool." And it says they never mention it again. So Leona kind of thinks, okay, that was it. That's fine. It was just a little weird thing that happened. But one night she finds Diana sneaking out, and Diana is going to ascend to Targon. And so Leona follows in an effort to help and protect Diana. And so in doing so, she also ascends Mount Targon. When she gets up there, she sees Diana getting mooned, or, bathed in silvery moonlight. And she
I
goes
like
to help.
the idea that the whatever they're called mooned her.
The Celestials.
The Celestial, yeah.
Celestials.
The aspects.
Okay. I'm
Anyway.
sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, whatever. She goes to help Diana, but before she can, she gets sunned. She gets wreathed in sunlight and is kind of imbued with the aspect of the sun. And there comes like a level of understanding of, I guess what happens when you've got an aspect all up inside you. And they're both the aspects at this point. And so Diana wants Leona to kind of come with her and seek out answers that the Solari can't provide, whatever that means specifically, while Leona is saying, no, we need to go back to the Solari elders and like let them know about all this and see what they have to say. And they disagree and it comes to blows, and Diana does win. She lets Leona live, but Diana flees, and then Leona kind of follows down the mountain after her and comes to find the aftermath where we talked about it. Diana kind of all murdered a number of Solari, and so Leona essentially just commits to being the leader of the Solari, but she also wants to help Diana. Like, that's kind of the ending line, is that she wants to help Diana before the moon aspect's power like overtakes her or something like that, I think is the wording.
Yeah,
so that's Leona's bio.
Dicks.
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't necessarily been updated since the shipping, because there is a lot of talking of them as friends. They might as well have said roommates.
Her friend Diana, yeah. It could use a tweak. I think what Leona needs, and I think this was the case with Diana too, is like she needs a lot more stories about her like now, and like because there's so much crap that's happened in there, and that's, I think even between like where this bio ends and where she's at now, we can kind of presume like a chunk of time has passed, and I would really like to see like what's it like being the aspect of like the worship of the Solari, because you're the aspect of the sun, you're their main shebang, like they're probably all about Leona, right? What's that like?
Yeah, didn't we read a Pantheon story too, where Leona was like going batshit and killing a bunch of people?
Yeah, they specified the Solari, not necessarily Leona,
okay.
But yeah,
I mean that's.
And what's up with that, right? Like, because Leona seems pretty reasonable in most cases we've seen her. She's a good person at her core, even if maybe not always maybe committed to causes that aren't always the best, but she's reasonable. You could have a discussion with her, I would assume. But yeah, what's going on with that? That's a good question.
How much of the aspect has taken over at this point?
Yeah, and I guess that's something we'll see in the short story, is like, and it even mentions in this bio that like when she gets imbued with it, there's like she has a control over it for now, but we'll talk about that in the short story more, I guess.
Actually, to quote the bio exactly,
yeah.
Ultimately, her indomitable will triumphed, and with that control came understanding. With control came understanding. That was that is exactly how it is written in the bio. No editing on my part. They just decided that sentence bared reiterating.
Is that like an editing error, or is it just really supposed to be an emphasis thing? I feel like
it seems like an editing error.
I was thinking it seemed like an emphasis thing. Like they thought it sounded really dramatic.
Ways. Yeah, I think if you're going to do that,
I assumed like a comma or something, or some way to, I don't know. It just looks real weird.
It does read weird. I think I would almost like it if like that same sentence was like if it stood alone in its own little paragraph to like really help highlight like this is intentional. It's just a significant emphasis. I also like don't quite understand what that means. That's the thing. Like I assume it's like understanding of like the aspects and the sun, etc. But I'd like to know more about what she understands. I want to understand. Yeah. I think that's kind of the thing with this, and this like goes back to all my complaints about the Solari Lunari, is that like, I want more like in terms of like detail. Like these are broad ideas, but I want some more like fleshing out.
It's kind of ironic because it seems like the narrative team has full control of this, but they don't necessarily have an understanding of the where they want it to go.
That's why they wrote the line twice. They were hoping it would come to them.
They just write it 15 times. So I'm just going to keep writing it until something sticks. Oh, got it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and then I think the other thing I'd like to see a short story about would be what happened in that moment where they both got all aspected up. Because like from them to go from like a romance at this point, and even if before, like assume this was written before that, strong friends to coming to blows, like that's a significant shift in that relationship, right? And it's like, what happened?
Unless that was part of their dynamic, we don't. We don't know.
They're
what
into
they were
impact
into.
play. Yeah, so I understand what they want to do with it, but I want more about Leona as a person, like now, So
Yeah.
So before we get into the is it time now?
Yeah.
So before we get into the short story, we have a very special guest joining us today. Why don't you introduce yourself, Tomato?
Hi everyone, I'm Tomato, or full Tomato Head, and I am a self-proclaimed Leona main, so to say. I was referring to the things because, the main reason being she's supposed to be this badass warrior, but she's usually played in support, so I like to take her up to top lane.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Solo
fun.
lane Leona.
Yeah. It's extremely fun because a lot of people underestimate you, and that can be extremely nice to turn around. Like a Heimer earlier today, excusing me of troll picking, and and me just 3-0ing him,
A
basically.
Heimerdinger accusing someone of troll picking. First
In
of
top
all,
lane. In top lane,
a
yeah.
top lane Heimerdinger.
Yeah.
I will say, I am that Heimer that you would have dumpstered. 'Cause if I saw Leona solo top lane, I'm like, I don't know what this guy's doing.
Oh,
I feel like anytime
Get
I go up
ready.
against a top laner that I've never seen before, I'm immediately like, well, I'm going to get fucking dumpstered.
yeah.
This person knows what they're
It's a
doing,
confidence
clearly.
pick.
Yeah. Anytime someone takes a
Interesting.
support in another lane, I shit my pants. I'm like, you're definitely gonna fucking steamroll us.
So what was your experience with the Leona lore like before coming here? Were you kind of into her lore, or had you not really read it before?
I hadn't really read it before. I was sort of familiar with she's the warriors and she lives on my target, but that's about the extent of it. I really started reading into it in preparation for this, and I was especially the more romantic part between her and Diana in the short story. I immediately fell into because I'm a pretty decent sucker for that type of story. just wholesome, cute interaction between two characters. I love it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it was
Sure.
a good one too.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I went back to go look at... God, I think we were doing a revisit episode for Diana when we looked at that episode, that first. And the one note I wrote was I think this is the best lore we're going to get for Leona. And I think I was right.
Yeah, we're so right. Not to brag, but 1 point mark.
Yep. Put it on the board.
No.
Before we
Alright.
jump into the short stories, though, who wants
yeah.
to give us their best Diana impression?
I forgot
Well,
what she sounded like.
I wouldn't because we're doing Leona. So, that's...
Well, fuck you. I'm going to give my best Diana impression.
The moon has arrived. No, she sounds like stay at the vanguard.
Ooh, nice.
Her. Sorry. Okay, I'll try. Hold up. Okay. I'm sorry if I steal someone's preferred quote here, but I think I broke a nail. Good thing it wasn't mine.
As an
love it.
interpretation, I will say.
That's an interpretation. That was great. I don't think I knew she said that.
Yeah, that was,
Dawn has arrived.
Okay, yeah, I remember her voice now. She's a little echoey, huh?
she is. Well, she's an aspect now.
Sure. The dawn has arrived. Was that good?
It was perfect.
Thanks.
Chosen of the sun.
Yeah.
Wow, exciting stuff.
Pretty on
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
She doesn't have a lot of great quotes, I'll be honest.
No, not really. It's playing her a lot, especially the Radiant Dawn skin that I rock. It gets really tiring. It's really the same sort of face the sun or
Yeah.
feel the whatever. It gets a bit boring after a while. Pouring it a
I like
lot.
that.
You said feel the whatever, but you can just say feel the sun because that's what
Yeah.
she's gonna say.
Sun,
Yeah.
feel the sun, be the sun.
Be the sun.
Be the sun. Praise
gotta
the sun.
be-
She's like
sun.
the world's most boring inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
I like her taunt where she bangs on her shield and she's
Yeah.
next time try to leave a dent. That's
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got a bit of sassiness to it, a bit of provocative
Personality.
nature.
Yeah.
A personality, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something more akin to her Rise With Me personality and not her quotes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, since that one's probably like timeline first, we want to go over that one first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that one. I do have notes for it if I can say it aloud. Does she have a lot of AU stuff? I'm just like,
She has,
She's got like projects and shit. Yeah. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so this is by Dana Laurie Shaw. It is told through a series of like letters and journal entries between Diana and Leona, kind of a mixed media thing almost. And it's taking place around when Diana and Leona are around 14, I think is the age in there. And it's leading up to a Solari festival known as Nightless Eve. Diana, as she does, has been causing trouble. And meanwhile, kind of like we talked about, Leona is sort of the golden child. She's the exemplary student in their studies. And Leona reaches out to get help with oration from Diana, because they do debate class, and because Diana's this, not heretic, but this outspoken person, she tends to be kind of good at debate class. And Leona's like, oh, I need help, establishing my logical, points, etc. And through it, there was kind of a burgeoning relationship while she's getting notes from Diana about, this was good, this didn't make sense, etc. But they're also becoming friends and maybe more. Diana is still causing trouble, still getting into trouble, getting punished, etc. And eventually they get into a bit of a spat because Leona wants to ask Diana to Sun Prom, and Diana has like just come off of a punishment, and so Leona's going to go try and talk to her in kind of an awkward way, because Leona, while she's very good at studies, is also maybe a little lacking on the interpersonal. Would you say? Does that kind of line up?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Diana is also, she's very ornery and kind of thorny at the moment, and so they kind of have a miscommunication. And
she's got her moon shields up.
Okay, sure. Ironic because she doesn't use a shielding game, but whatever.
Actually, it's 3 orbs and 1 shield. Okay.
Doesn't it refresh though? Anyway, so they have a bit of a spat, and then Diana kind of realizes after the fact, like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. She was just trying to ask me to fucking Nightless Eve. Fuck Diana. The night
she said
comes.
fuck that many times too.
She swears a lot. I kind of wish one of them did though. I would kind of like that, being a guy who swears a lot.
I wish it were Leona.
Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, the Nightless Eve comes. Diana doesn't go, and Leona goes out and kind of finds Diana alone, just kind of admiring the moon, and they kind of share a moment in the evening, and eventually a kiss. And that's, I think, kind of about where it ends. I don't know if they ever actually go to Nightless Eve, or if they just kind of spend the night kind of just together.
They have their own Nightless Eve.
I think they do. I think on the page, there's like a story page of them, I think Leona like pulling Diana towards like the ball where everyone is dancing. So I'm pretty sure they do end up going together. Yeah.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah, it's one of
that's
them
nice.
fishes.
Yeah, there's pictures too. I would say if you're gonna read this, go read it because there's little pictures all through it. Isn't it supposed to be Diana who's drawing the pictures? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
They're so cute.
Yeah, so cute. Love it.
So what do we think of this story?
No, I love it. I really like it. Like I'm not as experienced with like writing, or like I'm not really good at criticizing it, but I genuinely really enjoyed it. It was a bit difficult to get into initially because it was told from a bunch of different perspectives, like letters and stuff. But once I kind of, okay, so that's what this is basically, I was able to very much follow it, and it was very enjoyable. It was very fun to look into their sort of teenage relationship at that point.
Yeah, it's cute. I think we mentioned it last time too, but it was very similar to kind of like the Simon versus the Homo sapien agenda in terms of like the storytelling and the snippets of letters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not read it unfortunately, but I do think the way they tell it, like you're saying, is effective, and it's an interesting way to try and tell a story, like for League lore, instead of just like, and then this happened, and then that happened. It's like, hey, let's try and do some storytelling. Like that's
what wild.
What a wild idea.
Give these two characters a personality a little bit. Yeah, you see a lot of who they are through these letters. It's great. Leona's really funny and awkward. I love it. Yeah.
I like that she's always making lists You know, like it's a fun like trait to give a character. You know, it just feels like very human. Like she's trying to list out things. She's trying to list out ways to ask Diana to prom, or the night, let's see, whatever. You know, and it's like here's the reasons I should. Here's the reasons I shouldn't. I don't know. It's again more interesting than just I want to ask Diana to the prom, but I shan't. You know, to instead be like, oh no, this is the way the
just not father's will.
I kind of wish she did talk like that. Oh, father will be so displeased.
She does sort of in the letters a little bit, like she uses some more old-timey language, but it's kept at bay a little bit. It's not too crazy.
Yeah, and that's like she's talking to her parents too. So it's almost kind of interesting the way that it changes when it goes like, oh, I'm gotta talk to my parents in this kind of proper way. You know, like again, it's a little insight into the character. Right? But yeah, it's very sweet, and I enjoyed that too.
I don't want people to think I'm uptight. I'm fun? ?
Yeah.
I also wrote down all of her reasons why she should have never asked Diana to go to the festival with her.
Oh, great. Hit me with them.
Because she looked disgusted that I would even ask if she was going. She started yelling at me publicly. We both got in trouble, and now I've got to miss skirmishes to scrub floors. She doesn't care about celebrating the sun. She's practically a heretic. She probably wouldn't even dance if she did go. Now she'll never write to me again. I should have just said yes to somebody else.
Oh,
it was very dramatic.
It was so dramatic.
Loved it.
First half just seems like a hard cope. Oh, sorry. Just coping.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's I don't know. It's very like carried through in terms of the character, and I really like that throughout it. I also like that Leona's the belle of the ball, man. She's like turned down 3-4 different offers.
All right. Look at her.
She wants to go with the rebel.
Everyone loves a bad boy / girl / lunar.
A lunar loner.
Oh shit!
Oh, it sounds similar, so that makes it nice, better.
That's what they wrote on her locker. She's getting bullied.
Right.
Yeah.
The lunar loner hanging out with the Solo Solari.
Ooh, shit!
I liked when she was trying to think of reasons to, or think up ways to ask Diana to the prom too. She's like, maybe tell her you need help with a big project for oratory? No. She's in the same class as you. This is stupid.
The self-acknowledgement makes it so much better.
Leona, you dumb bitch. This is a bad idea.
See, I'm telling you, she needs to swear constantly.
Yeah, just vulgarities out of just constant vulgarities everywhere.
I love a voice update where she's like berating herself from time to time.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Some audible self-conflict.
Yeah. Like when you miss your skill shots or something.
Right?
She's like,
fucking
oh, you idiot.
Kaisa does it to me all the time. Why can't Leona do it?
Yeah.
Right.
Every time I miss a W, Kaisa's like, you dumb asshole.
Kind of like the inverse of like Ezreal, like when he misses the Q, he's just constantly like, oh, you bounced off a cricket or something. But like the opposite, like, oh man, I should have hit that E better. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I play Lux.
Father! This E is for you!
Lux always just hypes me up. She's like, at least we're trying.
Optimistic.
Yeah, it's great. Like, you're right, I am trying, Lux.
Doing my best.
Doing my best. Kind of.
So who wants to take us through The Lightbringer by Graham McNeil?
So I didn't write down notes.
I guess Mark has to go through all of them.
You say who, but it's no big deal. So I didn't write down notes for this, but I didn't because this is like a true color story, and that what's happening is very straightforward. Some raiders have come and are they're harrying the towns at the base of Mount Targon, and they come upon another town, and Leona's there with the Raharak, and they fight off the raiders. Leona uses some of her in-game abilities, which are described pretty cool. It's a pretty cool depiction of her, like her in-game stuff. And and she not only stops them and kills off their war leader, but at the end of it calls down, essentially her ult, and just calls down Sunfire and assumedly obliterates all of them.
Yeah. They're just like, they're in full retreat mode, and she's like, I don't like that they're here in the first place. They're probably going to cause problems. Power of the sun!
Yeah.
That's what she yells. Is she a Power Ranger? We got someone in our D&D party like that. Anytime someone tries to run away, he's like, nah.
You have two people like that, frankly.
Oh, that's true.
The
your
brother
wife.
and sister duo.
The brother-sister duo, yeah.
Yeah.
I personally really like the sort of more the rough description of how the leader of the bandits or the raiders cut one of the other soldiers just straight in half, just in its entirety, through the shield, through the armor, and through the body, and then compare that to how Leona tanked the shot. That is a very good comparison to how Leona makes you feel when you press W just to survive everything.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
I also love that. So I mean, they make this big, this war formation basically, so they can fight off these raiders, and they're doing all their like retreat, stab. She loses one of her Raharok, at least one of them. At least one got cleaved in half, and then she just fucking calls down the sun at the end of it all just to murder. Like, lead with that.
Yeah, it's a
If
fair
you knew
point.
you weren't going to let any of them get alive anyway, just fucking lead with the big one.
That's fair. That soldier's family is just at home like, oh, thanks, Leona.
Right? Wait, he was fighting
know your
side
ult's
by
got a
side with
2-minute
the aspect
cooldown,
of
but-
the sun and you couldn't protect him? Word is that you called down the power of the sun and just melted the mountainside. What happened? Did he get through that attack?
Look, man, we got Dragon coming up in a minute. I need my fucking ult, okay? I guess something... Oh, I was going to say, if I wanted to defend Leona a bit, something she does is kind of grappling with a little bit through this is that it's almost like she is trying to hold back the aspect of the sun. Like, she's got it under control, but she can kind of feel it constantly wanting to destroy all these guys and just really revel in burning them alive. So it's like, maybe it's something where it's like, it's almost a little like Lee Sin, I guess, where it's like he's got to hold in the dragon and letting it out. It's a very specific thing. I guess. You need
like
some
that
insight,
idea,
Tomato.
So at the end, she just kind of gives in. It's like, fuck it, I'll just melt these guys. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They killed Bob. Bob's on the ground.
He was the best of us all.
This is the best.
Bob, hurrah.
Not Bob.
But I agree with what you're talking about in terms of like, it does make Leona come off really, really badass. I like the action in this overall. I think part of that's in the description of stuff is like pretty grisly. Like that guy gets cleaved like from neck to navel or whatever. She caves in a guy's skull with her shield, and then when like she I think Ease, is it the war leader? It talks about how he like catches fire and starts like the flesh is melting from his bones inside of his armor, and the armor is like fusing to his skin, and
He's
it's like
screaming.
it's fucking cool.
It's
I like
really
it.
cool. And that's the reason why I play like that. It's you want to make that type of stuff come true, right? You want to feel like the badass fucking chosen of the sun, just destroying everyone, melting everyone around you. Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
felt
it was
good
talking
that it
about, like-
happened to him, too, because the story also opened with the quote, the leader raised a calloused hand as he saw a lone figure standing athwart the settlement streets. He grinned as he saw it was a woman. Finally, something worth plundering.
Yeah, icky.
Damn.
Yeah,
You thirsty.
that really stood out. I will say I've never heard
Face
the
the
word.
sun!
I've never heard the word athwart in that, like, I've never heard it before. It stuck out to me, that word. I don't know.
I
like,
know, I just
learned
kind
it.
of copy and pasted the quote and put it here, and like as I was reading it, I was like, did I type that wrong? Like, no, I didn't type it, I copied it.
Yeah. But yeah, it would talk about, like, even they would get next to her, and, like, they have, like, furs and stuff, and the furs would start igniting, because just the heat coming off of her was just so hot.
She got
That's just-
Sunfire Cape.
It's just cool. Yeah, right. She needs 6 Sunfires, like, really old school league. Yeah.
Aye.
But it was neat. There is one little line that I thought was kind of silly. It's near the end, right before she burns them in a hail of sunfire. where it's like, how and why these raiders had come to Targon was a mystery, for they had clearly not come to bear witness on the mountain, nor make an ascent. It's like, no fucking way. No shit. They're not here as pilgrims. No duh.
Especially, it's a little weird, too, especially given that, like, we kind of know why most of the raiders are kind of up in this area. Or at least, like, maybe not these raiders specifically, but, like, the barbarians in general that are all kind of migrating here. We do know why they're here.
Yeah. It's not like, is it a mystery? Really? It seems very straightforward. They're very, A to B, right?
Yeah, most of them got displaced from their homes because Aatrox was murdering them.
Whose fault is that?
Pretty sure it's Diana somehow.
Yeah.
Fucking Lunari.
Friggin' Lunari. Always their fault.
No.
Just to Cold War era, like just communism buzzword. Just use the Lunari. Blame them for everything.
It feels like that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what two different tones we got here with her two stories.
Right.
One is so cute and fluffy, a little sad and tragic.
Yeah.
And then this one, just people melting in their suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's sad and tragic, and the other was happy and tearful.
And murdery.
Yeah.
And murdery, yeah. That's what I was saying. I want a story about her now, because it's like there's been so much like change in that character. Like I really want to get a sense of like something kind of after all this stuff has happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We also need to know where Diana is now. That's even like more of a mystery.
Yeah.
How can they be bae if they're so far away?
Who can say? Maybe someday.
Yeah. No, I'd love for them to expand a bit more on Leona as an adult, because we got a lot of fun stuff about her as a child, right? But that's not Leona right now. Right now, all we know really about Leona is like, okay, she's this badass war maiden, but you want to see a bit more vulnerability, or I don't know, something along those lines, something like self-criticism, or I don't know.
Yeah, every woman still has that like teenage girl there that's a little self-conscious, and I want to see it in adult Leona.
Sure.
She's still making lists somehow, like first I'll murder this person. And then
that would be great. God, wouldn't
Maybe
that be so
that's what's
fun?
leading to all the slaughtering that the Solari's doing right now.
her lists.
Now she's got a
not
death list.
Leona's lists. Uh-oh.
Did anyone else have the Pentakill song Lightbringer in their head while they were reading this? Because I did.
I completely forgot about it, if I'll be honest with you.
Not necessarily.
Just me. That's fine. That's fine. It's whatever.
It's whatever.
You sound fine.
It's fine. I'm not even upset.
Sorry.
Now, Leona shows up in a few more stories, so they're not linked on her page, but we mentioned it a little earlier, the In Battle Broken story, where basically there's just kind of a quote when Atreus is talking to, I forget her name, Ellie. We'll call her Ellie.
Layla? Sure.
The Solari, Atreus, they see heresy everywhere, and they're not just killing anyone they suspect of being a Lunari, but anyone suspected of harboring them too. Thomas's entire settlement, the Raharak, butchered them. This is what happens when the aspects cloak themselves in mortal superstition. Your former brethren have been driven into darkness by the blinding light of their new savior. It's a very dark version of the Solari, and by extension, Leona, because she's the leader of the Raharak and the Solari, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, like it raises a lot of questions, right? Questions that I wish we had answers to, you know?
Yeah. Is this something that she herself knows about and encourages, or is this something more of a result of her, being the literal sort of chosen aspect of the sun, and people just acting accordingly, being like, hey, we serve her, so whatever we do must be correct. Like,
Right.
I wonder if it's something she's
That's
aware
what
of.
zealots do.
Yeah.
It's got to be the latter. I'm gonna guess it's the latter, because I feel like they don't want to go that dark with Leon. Like, this isn't a Jarvan situation. I think
Yeah.
they'll always want her to be kind of recoverable, you know?
Yeah. And I know the what is it? The Legends of Runeterra stuff isn't always fully canon, but even in the cinematic with Leona and Diana there, it was the asshole dude next to her who was just like, fucking Lunari, I'm gonna get him.
Like, the one who shot. Yeah, that's true.
Cut that shit out. Although she wasn't quite fast enough to stop it, which, I mean, you're kind of a god now, Leona. You should work on your reflexes.
She's so tanky, though.
Yeah,
You gotta
right.
give up something.
Tank.
Yeah.
Like this shit, she's tanky.
She gotta get those Moby boots.
Oh, yeah, right. I totally forgot that you built those on hers, or are supposed to.
I think just as support.
Yeah, just support with. I can't remember last time I played her as support.
I haven't tried her. I do love her in ARAM, though. We have a habit of yelling, "I'm fucking Leona," when we dive into people.
That sounds fantastic. It used to be that I also tried to play her mid lane on AP. Just go full AP Leona. But then they nerfed her AP ratio and just the AP damage on her abilities. It became just too impossible. Basically the same as going raw AP, which I've also tried and failed. But yeah.
I know, causing too many problems in the mid lane. They said we gotta nerf this shit into the ground.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Now, the only other place where I feel like she's specifically called out is the Unbreakable Spear, which is the Pantheon story, where it said that Atreus and Pylus were among the Recor who stumbled across a barbarian incursion, surviving the ambush that left the rest of their patrol dead. And the aspect of the sun refused to destroy these trespassers, which is why Atreus and Pylus originally swore to climb Mount Targon and capture the power of the aspects themselves. And then it was later confirmed on Twitter, not in any actual story, that the reason Leona refused to kill the barbarians is because she felt that they were fleeing from Aatrox, who had been slaughtering them, and she felt bad.
Okay.
I feel like this runs directly contrary to the story we just read.
Right?
Yeah.
It was an interesting note. It's a different Leona.
I wonder which happened first then. Do we know that? Like was Mercy first and then I actually fuck it, I'll just kill them, or did she then regret her decision afterwards? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know which story came first either.
That's a good question. I would be down if you wanted to have those two different depictions, and her color story happened not significantly, but sometime later. So there's been some hardening of Leona in some way. Like that could
Like
be,
maybe
that
she
could
let
work
some
totally.
people go and they did something bad.
Straight up Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of a weird mirror to some of like her. Kind of a weird mirror to some of her like old lore stuff, which I kind of like.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There's a lot you could do. There's a lot of potential with where you could go with Leona. She seems a little love.
Nice. So that is pretty much all we have for the short story. They kind of like mention her in Halfway Between the Stars and Earth, which is a Soraka story, but like it's literally just mentioned in passing. There's nothing about her in there.
Just like, hey, there's an aspect of the sun.
Yeah, and there's an aspect of the moon and of war. The end.
The end. The only 3 elements that you need.
Yeah. Light, sun,
War, moon, and sun. Yeah.
Right. Oh, man.
Yes.
Well, any other thoughts on these before we moved on to some old lore?
I want more. I want more short stories.
Yeah.
Especially adult Leona. I would love some more.
Absolutely. We need adult Leona. We need current stories. We need that Jinx Vi and Arcane moment with the reunite of Leona and Diana.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes better then.
Oh, that would be so cool. If they do it either via written story or through a cinematic, just like having them reconcile and just that would be awesome. That would be a really cool sort of but that would mean moving the plot forward. So who knows?
Yeah, that's not something they love to do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it looks like Leona's gonna show up or be a part of whatever stories happening this year. So maybe
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, based on the call, I feel like.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Although, well, I don't want to bring up the R word, but
The The Ruination?
Yeah.
It's like my slur.
I was
I was like,
I was thinking something else.
Jesus, John.
I was going to say I had high hopes when Diana showed up there, too, because I thought we'd get something there, but, you know.
Nothing good can ever come.
Like, that bitch has been missing forever, and then she just shows up for the Ruination.
I was here the whole time, guys.
Right? It's like an actor who you haven't heard from in like 20 years, and then they show up again and just star in the worst fucking thing you've ever seen.
You got an example of that?
You said that like you
no.
had someone in mind. Okay.
Right?
I don't.
It's okay,
don't.
it's okay,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Like a Brendan Fraser. I don't know.
Dare you?
I don't know what he's been in these days. I didn't say he was bad before. I love George of the Jungle. Mummy. They're all fucking great.
I love that George of the Jungle came before Mummy.
Why was George of the Jungle first, Mark?
It was genuinely great.
I don't
He
think
looks
I've
fine
seen
in
that
that.
since the theater. We should watch George of the Jungle.
All right.
Wait.
Thanks.
Theater? Wait, I'm imagining an animated show on Nickelodeon for George of the Jungle. Am I being...
I'm thinking of
No,
a
then
live
Brendan
action
Fraser
movie.
made a movie of it too.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
In like
Live
the
action.
90s or
Yeah.
early 2000s? I don't remember. Probably the 90s.
Gotta be
It was real
yeah.
close to like his Time movie, right?
His Time movie?
Oh,
I forget the fucking name of it.
Encino Man?
No,
Blast from the
other one.
Past.
Blast from the Past.
Oh.
Encino Man.
We're real
Okay.
Brendan Fraser heads over
Yeah.
here.
Airheads is what we are.
I see why I didn't know. Then that's only slightly before my time, so I
I
guess.
figured.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're
I'm
old.
sorry.
It's a blast from the past, if you will.
John.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you for joining us. Do you have any, I don't know if you stream or have anything that you'd like to call out in terms of self-promotion or anything?
Yeah, I guess one thing, my YouTube channel, but it's just something I like. The past 4 videos I've posted on there are all pigeon related.
That's fine.
I just 5-second
Okay.
clips of pigeons that I thought looked cute or cool. But yeah, a tomato head and then space and then FD. And also, last disclaimer, I had this name before Fortnite, okay? I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anyone say I'm a I don't play that game. I hate it, okay? I had this name before they started rolling with the tomato count and all that crap, okay?
Oh,
And
well,
that's
we
it.
also don't know
I'm gonna
anything
say
about
that's
Fortnite.
after my time.
I had no idea that, yeah, that's after
See,
our
well,
time.
Thank God.
I want a pigeon tier list. I'm gonna be on the lookout for a pigeon tier list.
I'll do my best. I'll get some more experience in pigeon rating and the varying species. No promises though. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun, guys, and thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
thanks for
Yeah,
being
thank
on,
you
man.
so
Tons of fun.
much.
Yeah.
So, old lore, yeah?
Let's
Old
hop into
lore.
some old lore.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about her old lore.
It's honestly, it's kind of good.
Okay,
I'm
so
not gonna
this-
lie.
Yeah.
This is kind of like pre-Diana stuff, yeah?
Yes.
it's
Okay.
pre-Diana.
All right.
Do you want to do we'll split it up. Do you want to do the bio or the judgment?
They're kind of mostly the same, right? Like the
That's
bios is
true.
kind of like a higher level of it. I'll start hitting it, and then we'll just go through it, and then you can kind of butt in when like I get things wrong or something. The bio is that so
You fucked up.
I guess this is like one of the first times we're getting to old Targon. Is that right? Like I don't think we've gotten to an old Targon lore piece
Yeah.
before, right?
We've
it's-
barely touched on Targon at all, really.
Yeah, I mean even new Targon, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was a member of the Rat Corps, were still around, but they were kind of different in that it had nothing to do with the Solari, really. They were just like a tribe that lived on Mount Targon, and it's a very harsh condition. They're very kind of like Spartan, which that's why Pantheon is from them. Like that's the whole inspiration. But it's very harsh conditions, right? And the kind of culminating thing, like what do you call it when you're like becoming an adult in like a tribe? And you like this is your
like the rite of passage.
rite of passage. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. The rite of passage is that when you hit 16, they just have all the 16-year-olds fight each other to the death. Like not all at once, but it's like you pair off, and one person has to come out of that pairing alive. And the idea is that like, oh, there's only so many people who can live, and you have to kind of earn your place. It's very kind of like Winter's Claw a little in that way too. Like they're very like it's super harsh. You gotta like earn your right to survive, etc. But Leona, while being an exceptional warrior, again, kind of like the exceptional should be standout student, is not really. She doesn't vibe with that. She prefers to like help people and protect people. And it kind of comes to a head when during her, I don't remember what they call it, her rite of passage.
Rite of core.
Rite of core, thank you.
Really?
She, instead of killing her opponent because she just massively outclasses him, refuses to. And normally that would be a grounds for execution, but suddenly she's imbued with the power of the sun, and it's kind of this like, oh fuck, what the fuck's happening? And then the Solari, who are an entirely separate group, show up, and it's like, no, she's ours now. We're gonna we like have a right to have her be a member of our group. We're gonna give her these like artifact weapons, and she's gonna be our aspect of the sun, like the avatar of the sun on Earth, kind of like proto aspect type thing. And then she joins the League of Legends.
You know
The
how it
Solari
goes.
claimed her to put her in the League of Legends.
I guess.
All right.
It's that last part's a little fuzzy, if I remember correctly, in the bio. It don't really get into why. It's not like the other ones where it's like, oh, here's the clear reason they joined. Because I think she's one of the last champions to like have a judgment, and kind of it must have been getting sunset at this point. I want to say, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it. Now the judgment is really, the judgment is just like going into extreme detail of that rite of core, where she is, getting ready to fight. They're all in a pit. And not only is it all the 16-year-olds fighting each other to the death, but all of their parents have to stand around and like watch.
Oh my God.
They talk about like it's a test both for the youths and then also for like the tribe as a whole, that you have to be able to like have the heartiness to like watch your kid get murked. But it's again like she doesn't want to do it, and the whole time she has talked about how she has in the past helped people who were bad warriors and like protected them and shielded them. And the issue is that like maybe in doing so she has set them up for failure, almost like she's seen multiple people who she had once protected who have now died, and she has to go up against this one guy, and she again immediately outclasses him, has the chance to kill him, doesn't. And whereas normally she is in the memory, because remember in judgments they're going back in your memory, she remembers like, oh, the power of the sun kind of imbuing in her and flattening everyone around her. Instead, they just stab her with a spear, and she's like, wait, this isn't how it goes. and then the summoner, I guess, who's kind of in her mind is like, oh well, this is how it should have gone, and why do you want to join the League? And I don't remember what her exact reason is. I think it's that she's again kind of filled with self-doubt about all this question of like, did I fuck up by helping all these people? Like, did I actually set them up to die? And then she kind of leaves the judgment still, like she's stuck there for a little while after the judgment, just like really racked with like self-doubt and like, what am I like, did I fuck up? Like, is that why I want to join the League, etc. That's like the high level, right?
Yeah.
You can let me know if I missed anything.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it was very much like you get Leona's want to protect people, but you also live in like this society where everyone's going to be fighting to the death at a very specific time. Like these people really need to, get their shit together.
Learn.
You're not doing anyone any favors at that point.
Yeah. It's a neat little like conflict to put in her, right? And it's like it makes perfect sense why she would feel that. And it's like it's also it's kind of like it's a little sad and tragic because she's sitting there fighting this kid, and she's like, all I can think about is how like normally he'd be this really fun guy, and how he's really good at working with wood and like wood carving, but that doesn't help you when you have to wield a sword and shield. And how she's like just bests it, like no, he's no problem, right? She bests him, and even his parents are like ashamed, right? And she can see the fear in his eyes and like how like sad he is that he's about to die, and he didn't even go out like with a good showing. It's all very like. It's a little heavy.
Very
I don't
visceral
know.
And
It's very Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know what else? I was going to say, it makes me think of a little bit of what I think Rel's lore is going to be like, where they have a bunch of kids fighting each other, which is funny because Rel's kind of like Leona in her play patterns. I don't know. It's weird.
You can't be fully armored and not have murdered a few children, is what I'm learning.
Apparently. No, she has she's referenced in like one JOJ article that I found.
Yeah,
just
the
the one
bag
right?
of justice, because it was pretty close.
Excuse
to
me,
the
the what?
end.
The what, John?
The mailbag of justice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was pretty close to the tail end when they were, getting rid of the Journal of Justice altogether.
Yeah, and even then, it's someone asking
Seems
about
forced.
It does. I think what it is that I could be wrong, but I think So what I remember about like old ass Pantheon lore is that his original place was not like the Rakor and all this. It was just Sparta, but like backwards. Or something like that was the name of the tribe. It was some really dumb bullshit is the point. So they kind of like, I think that was like maybe one of the first regions that got a little bit of a reboot. It was like, we're not going to do that backwards Sparta crap anymore. It's got a proper fantasy name. And the mailbag is essentially just asking Pantheon, hey, how'd you get your cool artifact weapons? Because I know like, and they're saying like, well, since Leona's been added, there's been a lot of questions about Targon and Pantheon, blah blah blah.
And that's it.
That's mostly it. Yeah, she just gets mentioned.
That's really funny. Hey, where'd you get that cool weapon? A lot of people ask about this. Next question.
Where'd you get that cool
He does
weapon?
explain
Hey,
it,
could I draw your attention to our new champion?
Yeah. He does
This is more
answer it, I
accurate.
want to say, but it's almost like a vehicle for like, hey, we changed the lore a bit around this specific region, and here's what it is now, just in case you're wondering.
I do like too that Pantheon shows up in Leona's judgment.
Oh yeah.
And so Pantheon was also essentially in Leona's class. And when Leona first refused to kill the person she was
child?
fighting against, Jagan or Joggin, however how you pronounce it, who's kind
Joggin'
of like
that
their
noggin.
proctor, basically. Jaeger. Baron Jagan. He nodded over to Pantheon as like hey, go talk to your girl, because they were friends, I guess. And the way they describe it is Pantheon, who stood at his side, spattered in blood from his own core. He was beside her in one leap. I don't know, it was fun getting his random ass jump ability into
Do you think it's that or like his ult even? Like he
right? Like he fucking ulted straight 2 miles into the air to show up like 2 feet to his left.
I'm trying to imagine the Pantheon in-game jump, though, like practically, and it would look very goofy.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was another thing they said. It says Leona's movements are smooth, calculated. Her walk, though elegant, is not the trained gait of nobility. Her steps are meant for war. And all I could think of was like, but is she still wearing the heels?
Of
that
course
she's wearing
she's in
the call
heels.
cinematic?
Yeah.
Of course she's wearing high heels.
Yes.
The armored high heels.
She's a woman,
Clunk,
John.
clunk, clunk, clunk.
What is she gonna wear? Sneakers?
Loafers.
You can't sneaky sneak when you
I
live on the
only
high peaky peaks.
Right now I'm wearing heels. I have to.
Yeah. You know what else I like about this old lore
Did you
is
just
that
look?
I gotta be sure.
she could be bullshitting, but she could be serious.
I wear heels like twice
might
a
be
year,
true.
baby.
I like that it establishes Leona as like a defender, because I feel like that's not as well established in her like new lore. When you look at her new lore, you would kind of think of her like how Tomato plays her, like this just like warrior, someone in top lane, maybe something like that. But really, she's a support, and I think the old lore lines up more with that, and that she's helping people and she's defending from the front, that type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it was definitely clearly like the intent. Like they designed this champion with a massive ass shield. Like,
Yeah.
An ass shield specifically just for her ass.
That's what's an aspect.
hey,
Again,
Right.
another
Never
aspect.
gets old.
I almost said it and I was like, they already made that joke. You can't do it. And then Mark's
You know
like, I
what?
got it.
Yep.
well, now we've got to make it a third time before the end of the episode. Them's the rules.
Okay.
Now she shows up in many cinematics.
So many cinematics, apparently. Although, how many are just her shield?
Not a lot of them.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
not 0 of them.
I knew it was going to be not 0 of them.
So she's in Call of the Mountain, which is, I think, another Legends of Runeterra cinematic, where Star Shepherd, or Ilia as I guess her name is, can be seen saving a fledgling Stellacorn, or basically a unicorn Pegasus, for those who don't know, a little baby one. And she takes it back to its pack. But to do so, she has to climb a huge mountain. On its way up, she sees Diana and Leona fighting. It's a pretty intense fight.
Yeah.
I don't know when this is timeline-wise. Again, this is the Legends of Runeterra one, so it may not even be canon. But
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty intense fight. She barely gets away. They're shooting all types of shit at each other. They don't seem happy.
Yeah, I this strikes me as like almost like a New Dawn type thing where it's like, it's just a cinematic. Everybody fight everybody. You know, don't worry about the lore implications.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, she's in a New Dawn, which is just a typical 5v5 Rift match. Starts with Darius, Draven, and Katarina ganking Ahri and Leona. Then Darius ults Ahri, but Leona blocks it and almost dies, but not quite. She comes back at the end after almost everyone else is dead, and Darius is advancing on the lone Ahri. Leona ults, giving her Rengar a chance to finally unstealth and attack once before getting knocked out, and then gives Ahri a chance to ult for the kill steal.
Yeah, classic support life, huh?
Right. Can I say, do you remember when they showed this? I think it was in like a proper like full like theater type that they had done like a big company wide like showcase of, and they were showing this off, and like when that axe hits and there's blood on the axe, I feel like there was an audible reaction from the audience of all rioters, because it was like the first time I was like, oh, okay, we're stepping it up, we're TV mature now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know.
There's
It always
blood
strikes me.
in League of Legends.
I know, right?
Yeah, that was hype.
This was a really big. Yeah, I definitely remember this, like coming out and how hype it was. It's still fun to
cool.
watch.
Yeah.
It is.
I like the non-lore random videos that they do a lot, actually, where people are just fighting each other. It's really fun. It kind of reminds me of like the old stick figure LOL battles, where you would just like have fun being like, oh, that's this person. Look at that ability. That's what it feels like.
Do you remember like when they showed those at like I think it was season 2 Worlds and
Yeah.
the crowd going nuts? There's a video
They're
of it somewhere on
fucking
YouTube.
nuts.
It's
Because
like
I think there's a
480p.
new one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
That was very exciting.
Man, what a wild world. And they showed a random donkey
random donkey.
videos during the breaks,
It wasn't
too.
even a
Yes.
new one too. That's just some.
It wasn't. They just went on YouTube and played a donkey video at the World
At the fucking
Finals.
Staples Center.
And they were playing Instalock songs too. And I remember I never really heard about them, but Instalock was right behind us.
Sitting right behind us. It
Which
was so fucking cool.
I didn't recognize them, but
They
they
were
got so
cheering so
excited.
loud.
Yeah, and we're like,
That's
oh,
what-
We're
that's
like, who are
them.
those people? Oh shit, it's them.
That's wild. That's really wild.
Yeah.
Damn.
So she's also the other cinematic we talked about, The Vaulted Road, where they Solari and a Lunari running away together since their love is forbidden. And Leona and some random underling chase her. Her underling fires on them before Leona can stop them. Fucking sandbagging. And Diana almost comes out to fight, but they share a look. Then the two lovers become stars, and all is well in the world.
Yeah. Go back. Go home, everybody. There's stars. Go back home.
It's nighttime now. That's the evil time.
Yeah.
Do you think they get like freaked out when they see the moon, or like did they go outside like "Ah,"
Question.
every time, or
It's still there.
shit?
What about when they see it during the day? If that
Oh.
happens.
Man, that must really fuck with them.
I like that.
Yeah. Who knows?
Now, more recently, she was in The Call, which is an actual like lore piece. So as Atreus is attempting to summon Mount Targon for
That's-
the third and
that's-
hopefully final time.
That's Pantheon.
Yes. That's that Pantheon meat sack.
Ew.
Well, it is.
I still want to call him Atreyu every time I see his name.
But he's climbing Mount Targon. He's attacked by the Raharok. But after easily dispatching them without even using his weapon, Leona comes from the sky and attacks him. They seem pretty evenly matched, which is a little surprising since Atreus is kind of without his aspect powers at this point. Though maybe Diana's again sandbagging because she doesn't want Leona taking over. I think I said Diana again.
You did,
You-
but
you
Leona.
did.
Leona. She doesn't want the aspect of sun taking over.
Guess it's better than Diona.
But then cosmic beams interrupt the fight, knock Atreus off the mountain. We don't really know what those beams are yet. But we
Yeah.
have theories.
I think it's a Aurelian soul. Yeah, well. Sorry.
Yeah. And as mentioned, Leona wears armored heels during this fight.
I can't get over it.
I want to see like her like stomp somewhere and leave like a very clear heel like footprint in the ground. I would love it.
I'd like to see her fall and sprain her ankle because that's what would actually fucking happen.
That's why she got those metallic shins. It's all just supporting just the ankle structure.
That's why she wears the armor pants at all. She really likes those pumps, dude. She needs to make sure she can wear her heels.
That would be great. She's like, oh, fuck. Oh, I'm going to need a fucking minute. Oh, man.
Now, she shows up in Warriors, the 2014 World's Anthem, in a couple places. She is a giant stone statue, and she's in a poster at the beginning. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good for her.
You're talking about not talking about Rise, talking about Warriors, right? Just
Warriors.
Okay. Sorry, when I think stone statues, I think Rise, but
same.
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot there's stones in the. Yep, I got you.
With a little light beam shooting, they're all hither thither.
She's not in the clouds. I thought you were gonna say she's one of the cloud silhouettes, but
I didn't see her in the clouds.
I don't think so. I think you're right.
Through it. There were the other classic pairings in there, though. They got the Renekton, Nasus, Garen, Darius, all them.
That's what made me think of it, yeah.
And then she's also in the 2019 MSI trailer, Represent. More specifically, her shield is in it. And then, speaking of which, Rise.
John.
At 25 seconds, you can see her sword.
Cool.
So,
cool.
Pause on that.
I mean, her weapon designs, like both sword and shield, are pretty distinct and cool. I think that's part of why she shows up a lot in cinematics. I think it's also because she's one of the few like super armored like ladies, and they don't have a lot of them. So like, Leona, get back out here. I will say,
people need you.
You were talking about the concept art, and in a few of the concept arts, I liked where they had like the sword and or shield as being not like symmetric. There would be like it would kind of just be like one-sided, and I kind of wish they had gone with some of that. I thought those looked a little cooler than the fully symmetric stuff, but yeah, personal taste.
Yeah, those are all the cinematics though, and I don't have a lot in terms of fun quotes and references from her quotes because she does not have a lot of quotes. The only one I got here is how grossly incandescent is likely a Dark Souls reference.
It's absolutely a Dark Souls reference.
Not that we play Dark Souls, we don't know.
I do. I know. It is. That's fun.
But yeah, anyone have anything else to say about
Canon
Leona before we hop into her AUs aplenty?
We're already an hour in and don't have the AUs started,
Real quick, feels a little bit like an accessory to Diana, so that's why I want her to get some more stories about her and have her be a more fully realized like character a little bit. And she's in Legends of Runeterra. She has a lot of quotes. There's not much from them. But there is one where she has a back and forth with Diana, where Diana is all about like, unity, peace, etc. And Leona says, a peace built on lies would never last. So I want to know what lies she's talking about. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Probably the lies from that final dropped Solari tablet from the other short story.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Anyway, that's mostly it. I think we talked a lot about the other stuff.
All right. So we'll start with a few exception AUs. We've got, first of all, the Iron Solari, which this doesn't have, there's no lore for this AU itself, but there is lore for this specific Leona skin.
Okay.
She who bears the Iron Solari into battle bears the weight of history, as iron gives way to steel, and steel to eternity.
Sure, if you say so.
She doesn't really look like herself in this. I feel like Leona kind of has that Jarvan problem where her face is always kind of different in every single skin.
Yeah, because it's all about the hair and the armor and shield and stuff. The face is kind of just
every time they're like, here's a lady's face, and it's always a little different.
Now, she also shows up in Battle Queens, though she does not have a skin.
Okay, I was just about to say.
She shows up in Diana's story. She stood by Diana when Diana went against the church and took the Eosian crest, And then before the coronation, she dropped by Diana's tent and gave her some armor she had made for her that combined Diana's current armor design with Leona's gold accents. And she also has this quote, "I swore an oath," Leona replied. Diana surveyed her and, reaching out one hand, closed the remaining distance between them. So did I. Her fingers skimmed across Leona's pale cheek, and Leona closed her eyes at the touch.
Her eyes fluttered. Do some butterfly
Now
kisses.
for actual She's in Fable, set in a mythological world where each champion represents a mythological god, hero, villain, or creature. And this one is Valkyrie Leona. Hail the Valkyrie, for she will descend upon the field of battle and raise our greatest warriors into the halls of Valhalla. Those she doesn't take with her go to the underworld, or sometimes the ocean, though they don't tell you that before the whole dying in battle thing. And this pairs with the Dark Valkyrie, Diana, who's also part of the skin line.
I forgot she had the Dark Valkyrie. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm down
I
with
need
that.
Leona to be like more buff than she is. She wears a lot of really heavy armor, and she's got like a real chicken leg in the skin. You can like see her thigh,
She
which is
skips
like the
leg
size
day.
of my arm. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just that you've got jacked arms. You've got the arms of an armored warrior.
Well, now I got little chubby arms, but that's okay. But I just feel like if you're carrying all this very heavy shit around all the time, it heals. You can be pretty jacked.
Now she's also part of Pool Party, where each champion's equipped with summertime clothing. This one's Pool Party Leona. Leona is a former champion surfer who enjoys spending her downtime relaxing on the beach with a light romance novel. Or pretty much any romance novel, in fact.
Oh,
Oh.
She likes
She gets
them
into-
hot and heavy romance novels.
Yeah.
She's reading like Harlequin, but it's like Quinn spelt like the champion.
Oh. You know, that would actually be a fun... They should do that for a Valentine's Day skin for Quinn. Harley
look
Quinn
at this lobster, though.
romance.
He's so mad.
Oh, he is mad.
Because he
There's
saw
a
what
lobster
Leona was
yelling at
reading.
her.
I don't know if any
Yeah.
of y'all also have mothers that read Harlequin romances, but
They just copied the same lobster and put him in another part.
oh my
Oh,
god.
fucking riot.
Fucking
Riot.
Get your shit together. 2 lobsters.
But they're making the same face.
Lamau, 2 lobsters.
Why are all the lobsters mad in this? Sorry.
Lobstergate 2022.
It's the deep lore for that skin line.
Now we've got Culinary Masters, set in a cooking show environment where all the champions are chefs of various skill levels. This one's Barbecue Leona. She's the solar pitmaster, the lean, mean brisket queen. If her flavors don't stun you, that 40-pound grill will. Please give a warm welcome to Leona.
That brisket queen line fucked me up. Can I just say?
These skins are great.
I'm gonna start using that skin just because of that fucking line now. I
Right.
normally like
There's a
the...
cooked lobster in
Say
this.
hello to the lean, mean brisket queen. There's a lobster. It's probably that
It's
one making the
cooked.
angry face.
That's why it's
Yeah.
on my... Yeah. There you go.
I seen what you did to our other lobsters.
I never realized Tom Kench was in the background of this.
Oh yeah, just lurking.
That was horrifying.
Now we've got Eclipse. Long ago, an order of monastic knights slew the vile gods of the old world using esoteric powers granted by the moon and sun. Now the world has grown dark and violent as those selfsame deities prepare their return, challenged only by the light of the eclipse. There's a few skins here. We've got Solar Eclipse Leona. Hearken! We beseech thee, O cruel sun, and deign to bless with the cleansing flame of thy celestial majesty. May this shield guard against the scourge of dark enchantments which choke our land. May this blade be the hammer against the servants of witchery and evil. I, Leona, do take this oath forevermore.
Very dramatic.
It is very dramatic. And then we've got Lunar Eclipse Leona, which starts with, Hearken, we beseech thee, O savage moon, and deign to bless with the vermilion shadow of the celestial majesty. And everything else is the same as the others.
Okay.
Thank you for not reading the whole thing again.
I was debating it and just seeing if you noticed that it was the same.
Honestly, I fucking wouldn't have, because I definitely spaced out when you read the first one.
I get that. I drift in and out when I talk too.
Yeah. It's being married to John, baby.
And this one has a short cinematic called The Answer to Her Light, where it kind of seems like Leona is not cool with the Coven witches. She gives a big speech and seems to threaten them.
Oh, shit.
Basically like a, come face me in the sun, bitches. Hiding in the night. And then she's part of the Lunar Revel Mecha Kingdoms branch. The great kingdoms warred for generations until the arrival of a new enemy. To fight back, they are blessed with gifts from the heavens. Will they rise above their past to save their future? And this one is the Kaiju AU, basically. This is like the Pacific Rim one. This one's Mecha Kingdoms Leona. Leona grew up as the favored daughter of the Dawnrise Kingdom. When the Leviathans appeared on her homeland shores, she took command of her realm's forces, becoming the matriarch of her people. In return, the grateful scholars of her court gifted her an Avalon, an immense pilotable mech powered by the life essence of the very monsters that threatened her home. Now she stands fearless, leading vast navies into war.
Do you feel like this one is too close to her project skin?
Yes.
Oh, in terms of visual?
Yeah, visual,
I don't know
sorry.
if I've ever seen it in game, honestly.
Yes.
The splash is
Like,
cool, don't get me wrong.
It looks almost like...
Like a chroma?
Yeah, like a red chroma instead of her orange project.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I see it. There's also part of Battle Academia, set in a world where champions go to schools that cultivate the next generation of superheroes, and it's separated into 5 schools named after the god weapons, which are titanic sentient weapons that dot the landscape. There's a lot of skins for this one. We got Battle Academia Leona, an oddly cheery member of the Labris Academy's battle club. Leona's dark side comes out in combat when her motherly, protective persona is utterly replaced by bloodlust. The change is so dramatic that even the most violent students tend to stay on her good side, hoping to avoid her wrath. And then there's a level 2 bit of lore for this, because they had kind of like a Legends of Runeterra style card evolution for this. I don't know if this skin is in Legends of Runeterra specifically.
I don't know. I know they have skins in there, but I don't know about...
Yeah, so this must be if she evolves there. Leona had hoped Labris Academy would prove a worthy challenge, where she would learn and grow as a valiant protector, even amongst the unruly student body. Her hopes were met early, often, and to her frequent dismay, unexpectedly. And there's a little quote from her. Overreacting? Preposterous! You call this a food fight! Ready yourselves accordingly, or fall!
Why don't I see this skin much in game? I feel like I don't see people play this one. I like it because it's like so colorful and different compared to a lot of other skins.
It was they used it in TFT last set.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I would like to see this one more.
Yeah.
So
They
get
used
on
another
it.
colorful skin in this set of TFT. And then she's got a prestige edition of this one too. After being selected for the yearly Cross Academy tournament, Leona sharpened her combat prowess almost every free moment she had, knowing she had to beat out other top-ranking students from rival schools like Durndal, Babylon, Amrita, and Shiror. Her bloodlust now honed, and her shield at the ready, she will pummel anyone who challenges her into a meaty pulp.
Cool.
And this also has a cinematic, which I don't think was released in the U.S. This looks like another one that might have been Brazil only. But it's called Dawn by Raid, which is just it's a super anime opening trailer. Like it's basically just, if you've watched anime, imagine that, but for the Academy skin line.
Okay, interesting.
That's pretty neat.
Piqued my interest.
Also, the song slaps. So that's unfortunate we never got it here. And then she's part of Crime City Nightmare. In a city where drink is cheap and life is cheaper, eldritch horrors lurk in the shadows, preying upon mankind's greed and envy. backroom black markets have given rise to elixirs, a valuable magical export whose production spells money and influence should any gang find a way to corner the market. Vying for control with the help of twisted, unearthly terrors, enforcers, mob bosses, and cronies alike invite unknowable corruption in for a chance at true power. And this one is Debonair Leona. An enforcer at the exclusive Solari resort, Leona spends her days brutally ejecting unruly patrons from the premises, and her evenings schmoozing up the city's ultra-wealthy. Even the rich and powerful know not to trifle with the Solari's chosen, lest they find themselves soaring out of the penthouse suite and down into the sidewalk.
I like that lore a bit. You know, again, like it's fun when they kind of play around with them and make them a little bit different. Like her just being like a bouncer type is kind of fun.
It's like she's a protector, but for all the wrong people.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's part of Project. Among the megastructures and packed streets of a future controlled by global corporations, a shadow war rages between rebellious augmented humans and newly empowered artificial beings. The winners will shape the course of history, and the losers will be forced to evolve. And this one is Project Leona. A heavy armor combatant, Leona has seen the truth behind the neon light of Project, and now stands with Ash and the Genetic Rebellion. She carries a mounted ion-charged shield capable of blocking and stunning targets with its variable energy yield output. She's mentioned, just as a note here, in the Overdrive cinematic. She's kind of like mentioned in the description of it, but she doesn't actually show up in the cinematic itself.
Oh, weird. It's weird. I guess they just need to, if you're looking at it, you can know here's all the skins you can buy.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones. You know how like the projects sometimes like they have all those like loading screens when they start, like initiating project, or they had kind of one of those descriptions that was like initiating Project Leona, and
yeah.
I think there were 2 champions that were mentioned in that like initiation screen that don't actually show up in the cinematic, but
I get you.
Yeah, but that was a cool cinematic. That was like that one with Master Yi and Lucian, where they fight against Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one is really.
Fiora's there.
Yeah.
Doing her best.
God bless her.
Now we have some fun facts.
So many fun facts, John.
I'm sorry. I'm
impressed.
Fun.
You are so fun.
So Leona's voiced by Wendy Lee. And during,
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know who that is.
You just said it in such a way.
I mean, if you're big in the voice acting scene, maybe you know.
I think she does Faye in Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one that I think. But I know she does a ton of anime stuff, so I'm sure there's a million things that I'm not familiar with.
Sweet. During development, she was called Irene.
Okay. Dope.
And
not Irene, Arene.
Irene. And speaking of her visual design, Iron Stylus based Leona's visual design on his wife.
Aww.
And then the splash artist used Natalie Portman as a reference. So now Leona's a mix between the two.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
So the Leona passive, Sunlight, and the Lux passive, Illumination, have nearly identical functionality. The only differences being who and what can trigger them.
I guess that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're not wrong.
And Sunlight deals 1 less damage to any champions wearing sunglasses, whether by default, like Vayne, or through a skin, like Riot Graves or Surfer Singed.
Dope.
I'd be so mad if someone lived
1 hit point.
1 hit point, yeah.
Tilting. A functional real-life replica of Leona's Zenith Blade was crafted in an episode of the YouTube series Man-at-Arms Reforged.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's cool.
Neat. Yeah.
When Valkyrie Leona hides in brushes, her outfit becomes transparent, thus making her undergarments unintentionally visible.
What?
Is it like, I mean, I assume it's just like some weird model thing that's going on, right? Like, does she have actual... whatever. I'll test this out in the game later.
Everyone's only going to play that skin from now on. I was promised undergarments.
They're like little red undies.
Oh my God.
Although they could be very much just like, she also has like a red, what's it called? Kind of like a tabard, I don't want to say like loincloth, but like kind of combo going on.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems
probably
like
that's the
maybe
part
just
that
like the
shows.
outer layer got taken off and the inner layer is still there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a weird visual bug.
In the Iron Solari Leona skin, there's a look of disapproval emoticon featured on the pillars in the background, which Iron Style is stuck in there.
Dope.
That's pretty fine. In the Project skin line, Project Yi describes Leona as brilliance in pieces, shrouded in ethereal flame, protector, lightbringer, lone voice, stand and fight. In death-heavy fields now still she stands. Light washes over. Will sacrifice anything to protect.
Man, getting very poetic over there.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's intense. And finally, the Eclipse skins were concept ideas by Sonny Kindlejack Coda before he joined Riot. And he gave Leona a special empowered form for after she used her solar flare, like a different visual look to her. But that interaction was removed in patch 9.14. She used to get bonus attack range and damage for a few autos after she used her ult. But now if you're using that skin and you use your ult, it'll still change how you look because that was coded that way, but you'll just be stuck like that until you die.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of little visual bugs with Leona here.
I guess. I kind of like that idea, though. Like, that's cool. You know, having something change about the model after the ult, something like that. That's neat. I can see why you might not have it go on for balance reasons if it's not supposed to be doing that, but, you know. I like the idea also of someone making a skin for a champion they love, and they're just like, hey, give her a few empowered autos. Like, slips like $10 to like a QA guy. It's like, don't worry, I'll make sure it gets in.
Well, I mean, her alt used to do that for just in general.
Oh,
just
okay, I
removed
misunderstood.
that part of her
Oh,
alt.
okay, sorry. I thought it was like,
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, I thought I was with you, Mark.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, her old alt used to give you that shit. So he made a special form to let you know, like, hey, you're in that empowered form after your ult. But then they got rid of that part of her ult, but they've still got that visual empowered form on that skin.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah, those are my Leona fun facts. Welcome to Sunny Corner, where we talk all things Leona.
So do we have any more thoughts on Leona?
I mean, I think we talked about it at length. I don't have much else to add, really, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was Leona. We did it. Congrats, everybody.
She's also featured on a cup with Diana.
Oh, yeah, we have that mug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pride mug with the two of them.
It's very cute. I love it.
Took me a
It's my
long
favorite one to
time.
use now. I know. I was like, what cup? What? John just doesn't want people to add him because if he misses anything, the Discord's going to catch it real quick, and they always blame John immediately.
It is his fault.
It
Because
is.
none of us could ever, only he's the one who can go and find these details. None of us could ever know it.
He's the one who started it up by insisting to mention every time a strand of hair belonging to a champion shows up in anything. So
I stand by my decision.
that's fine. All right, we're done. We have a Twitter. It's at Loreheads, and we have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. We stream Saturdays at some time. We're not sure. And then Monday nights, John does TFT streams.
Yeah.
He's in Plat now. He's trying to get to Diamond. It's fun to watch him suffer.
Nice.
We also post these on YouTube. We have some parody songs on there. So check those out, along with the episodes. And we have a Discord. The link to that is in the description of this episode. We also have a Patreon. Thank you to all of our patrons.
And a special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Jeremy Rich, King of Hearts, and Mylect.
Mm-hmm.
And then a very special thanks to our guest today too.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Tomato Head.
Yeah, thanks.
And
Tons of fun.
And join us next week because we're going to talk about the Bashful Bloom Lilia.